And hello, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host, Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and review for last night's episode of Andor, Season 2, Episode 7. So, spoilers if you have not caught up to this, because honestly, there's a lot of things I have to cover here. So, I finally watched the episode. Didn't get to watch it last night, but I got to watch all the episodes today. Wow. So let's talk about it. So we all know from episode 6 the ending, that big ending where Cassian and Bix, they went to that the new, Empire building that, everybody was like worried about, like, oh, new armory and all that stuff. They went into one of the buildings and blew it up, end of it. Plus Bix kind of got her revenge on one of the people who was literally torturing her in season 1. So she kind of got her revenge there a little bit. So she's kind of feeling a little bit more better. And now that's happened, the Empire has gone into the point of like protecting mode. Literally protecting whatever the assets they have. They making sure they have double security, triple this, triple that, whatever you want to call it. They bringing in reinforcements. The Emperor is like signing off on not only more guards and stuff like that, but it's also about the whole mining thing that they've been trying to do as well. So he now knows about that. Cassie and the other rebels are like trying to scramble and trying to figure out what should they do. Should they continue following Luthor and Luthen and going blindly and doing their attacks, or do it kind of like how they should play chess and just like buy their time, do it what they have to do, but in the shadows, do it when they, when the Empire is vulnerable and all that good stuff as well. We also get to see, our favorite, Empire woman, I forgot her name. She's the one who went after Cassian in the first season. She's now all military now. And she's at the point now where she's like now higher up. They keep ranking her up to not only, I guess, divide her and her husband, who's kind of doing his own thing. But I'm still thinking her husband's going to end up turning to the good side, but we'll see. He's at that point where he's asking questions and he's like wondering why he's being kept in the dark. And especially for this episode, his wife is getting ranked up here and he's just like kind of sitting in the background. And it's always good to have a woman be higher than you, sure. Yeah, but if you're the guy and you kind of left in the shadows and everybody just ignores you, then something might be up, but who knows. But I still think he's going to end up turning. So we'll see how that turns out. And of course you have Cassian. He goes with the young guy who ended up with Forrest Whitaker, and he was doing the hacking and became his new hacker. Yeah, apparently Forrest Whitaker needs to talk to Cassian. We'll see how that turns out. We all know how that ends up in Rogue One. But yeah, I thought this episode was pretty good. It really shows why the Empire is at their point right now, where they're, they never had this problem before with rebels, Yeah, they were there, but they weren't exactly a problem. Now they're at the point where like, okay, these guys are becoming a problem. And of course we all know how, Rogue One happens, episode 4, we all know how that happens. The Empire goes to war with the rebels. We all know how that turns out. Obviously rebels win, but it just starts building up the boiler of like, okay, this is going to explode badly for everybody, because rebels are going to lose people, Empire's going to lose people, and it's just going to get worse, especially when you get like people like Krennic, who's going to start realizing that, I need to start taking charge and trying to figure out how to get rid of these guys. And if he fails, there's always Tarkin, which we all know how dangerous he is. And of course, there's Darth Vader, which, we're not going to see. I don't think we're going to see Darth Vader in this show. Maybe we will, but who knows? But he's going to eventually find out about all this rebel stuff, And then eventually, lead it into episode, Rogue One, where, oh yeah, he knows now. Oh yeah, they took the plans. They took the how to destroy the Death Star plans or whatever. Because you remember how that turned out. And he was in the hallway scene, and then he lays right into episode 4. Yeah, we all know how that story turned out to get those plans back. So yeah, this all leads into it, and it's just gonna get even more crazier. And I like the fact that Cassian is now being recognized as a leader. You know, at first they were looking at Lutheran to do it, but he's starting to become to the point where it's like, okay, you're kind of just rashing our plans to do what we have to do, and the rebels who are like we're following him are like, okay, we need to plan better, because if we start following you, it's just gonna get sloppy, and then we're gonna get caught and killed by the Empire. But if Cassian was in charge, you know, he knows how to strategize. He knows how to lead a team, you know, into battle, into glory, into victory. You know, he's not just like, all right, guys, let's just go attack the Empire now. No, you need a strategy. If you're going to be a general or leader of any kind of army, you have to have a strategy. Because if you just go in blindly, you're going to die. You know? Look how great Leia was. Leia was a general. She had strategy. She had, you know, leadership, ability to do it. Mon Mothra as well. You know, we're seeing Mon Mothra at the point where she's, you know, she's part of the Senate, but you know, they started to like deteriorate for her, and she's trying to figure out how to get the heck out of that situation, and she's gonna end up being, you know, pretty much a leader for the rebels as well. We're gonna see that eventually soon, and yeah. I think right now we know Cassian is a leader. We've seen it in Rogue One. Even when he denies that, oh, he's a leader, he's a leader. He is. We all know he is. And it doesn't end well for him at the end. And well, depends on how you look at it. If you've seen Rogue One, you know what I'm talking about. I think he kind of leaves the story in a blaze of glory, in my opinion. But yeah. But yeah, good episode. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about episode 7, or what do you think is going to happen next? Do you think Cassian will be that leader that these rebels need to continue their fight against the Empire? Do you think the Empire is going to get more stronger now that they're one of their big bases was kind of destroyed in the capital in a way, you know? So you think now that they have the extra security, they literally brought in guys who were literally the Empire, but wearing all black. Not the stormtroopers, but just like all black uniforms. And when those guys show up, it could be problems. So we have to wait and see. But and now Cassian is just trying to figure out a way to, you know, get more information and do what he has to do. So leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much. And have a good day.